T minus 37 and counting. Anyways, how's everybody doing? Got my Oscar Madison look going on in my Felix Unger home. If you're old enough to remember those names. Oscar Madison and Felix Unger. Anywho, it's about 103 degrees in my house right now, and 5 days my AC is installed. Monday's the electric, and setting the phase for the tubes and wires that are already in pretty much place in the basement that run out the back of the house, and this, that, and the other thing. Anyways, okay. So I posted that link. Maybe some of you out there of certain levels of ascensience watched the liftoff of the X project of Elon Musk. It went off without a hitch. And thanks to my ex-wife, she brought that to my attention as I was contemplating suicide. No, I'm just kidding. But it takes me back, boys and girls. It does. To a time long ago, 1981 to be exact, the spring of 1981, I believe it was April. I have the Old Time magazine that came in the mail to my parents' place. But I remember I was in grade school, and the teacher announced that, like that week or the following day or something, we're going to be wheeling in a television set and plugging it in, and we're going to be watching, then there was only 3 or 4 networks, like ABC, NBC, CBS, I don't know which one it was, for the Cape Canaveral, Florida takeoff of the space shuttle Discovery, I think it was. It's hard to remember, they all have different names, but the first space shuttle launch in the spring of 1981, and we watched that live in the classroom. And then the following week, there was an announcement that for the whole school, not just the class I was in, an assembly, and we were going to watch it land in, I think, Rancho Mirage, or out in the desert in California. And growing up on the East Coast, there's a 3-hour time difference. So I remember when it landed the next week, and we watched the live landing as it came in and, hit the runway out there in the desert in California. It was like later in the day, and we watched that. And that was all within a week's period back in 1981, and it was the first, manned space shuttle takeoff and landing. So that was nearly 40 years ago, right? And I remember that was a big moment in my life as a kid, and for those in the country and around the world. It was probably the second biggest thing in the life of NASA since the man went to the moon in 1969. Now, of course, I don't remember that. I'm not quite that old, but I was certainly in the works when that was happening. But yeah, so this is kind of historic. It's kind of neat. So I posted a link. Maybe you guys have saw it, or certainly can go to YouTube or wherever to see the recent footage. It just took off less than an hour ago. So I kind of shared that with my roommate, housemate rather, down in the basement. And of course, down in the basement, it feels like I have air conditioning. It's like, oh God, you are so lucky to live down here right now. But I'm on the 3rd floor, so I'm in Hell's Kitchen right now. But hey, it's all going to change in a few days. And I didn't even turn on my swamp cooler. I just want to suffer. I had a horrible night's sleep last night. But it's all in good fun, right? And yeah, it's kind of neat, that I also got to share it with somebody. It's like, hey, remember when we saw that first, new age, rocket that's man guided. It's pretty neat. And it just, I don't know, it just took me back 39 years, to when I was a kid, and remember watching the first space shuttle take off, and the following week watch it land. Just kind of puts everything into perspective of, how the years go by and what you remember. And that, I just remember that was so exciting when I was a kid. That was the whole talk of that spring. That was the same spring that President Reagan got shot. A few months earlier, John Lennon was assassinated in New York. It's a very interesting time in 1980, 81. The hostages were released the day Reagan took office in 81. I know, I sound like a history book. Well, maybe I am, as I live in this archive museum, right? Maybe I'll charge admission. But no, it's all relevant, man. It's all cool. And this is, of course, privately funded. NASA is the the brand, the ones that are hosting this thing, but this is not government funded. This is privately funded, and Elon Musk, who invented and created the Tesla automobile and other things, is the primary financial architect in this. So hats off to him and his people. But it's exciting. It's nice to see something educational and live, and it's more advancements in the annals of human history. It's something to kind of be proud of, But anyways, I thought I'd share, and before Frosty the Snowman here melts up here in his music room. New York Yankees jersey, Derek Jeter, who's going into the number two. Now batting, number 2, Derek Jeter, number 2. Yankee fans don't understand what all that was about. But anyways, hey, Godspeed to those guys. It's a 2-man crew, and I don't know exactly when they're coming back, but what I do know is they were going 27,000 miles an hour at one point, right? Now, for all you mathematicians out there, at the equator, okay, the circumference of the Earth is approximately 26,800 some odd miles, I believe. So we'll call it 27,000 miles. At the equator of this sphere, not the flat, but the round planet that we live on, all right? And they're going 27,000 miles an hour. So put this in your mind. They were going so fast that they circled the Earth in an hour, if that was the trajectory they were taking. So I'll be back in an hour. Where are you going to go? I'm going to circle the Earth real quick. Chew on that. Peace out.